You know, I was never really totally comfortable with it. You know, I was never really kind of just really happy with putting my face out there and kind of making videos and sending them out to the universe and having them kind of everyone look at me and have every follicle of my face examined. It's just something that kind of always bothered me on some kind of like primal level. I just didn't like the fact that everyone was looking at me, but I still did it anyway because it was some kind of outlet for me to kind of express myself at the same time and, you know, maybe get some confidence and kind of go out in the world and meet people, actually talk to people instead of talking to a camera. But then I just realised that, you know, it was just one of those things where I just felt like it was just this anxiety, this just crippling anxiety. I don't know where it came from. I just, when I started making YouTube videos, it was one of those things that just kind of really got to me, where it was like, wow, this is really kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time it's easy to do, but it's when you put it out there and then people judge you and that kind of thing. And I guess it goes back to that guy who once said, you know, I would never want to be in a YouTube channel where they let me in as a member. So I don't know, I can't pinpoint the exact moment where I felt like this, but I guess, you know, one of the main times was when I was making a video, a skit, to be precise, for the Blu-ray Brothers channel, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, what am I doing with my life? Okay, Luke, so you're going to be doing this video for Marathon Week and you're going to have to watch a bunch of films. How many is a bunch? Well, I don't know, I mean, however many you want, I suppose. Do you mean a bunch as in a couple, a few, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, I mean I've seen banana bunches with all sorts of numbers, coconuts even. Whatever, forget I said a bunch. But you've said it now, twice in fact. Yeah, but that's beside the point. Well, if it's beside the point, then it's actually still pretty close to the point, right? I mean, the window is beside me, and that's in pretty close proximity to me, so if you saying bunch is beside the point, then it's still actually pretty close to the point, right? Look, you can watch as many or as little films as you want. But if I only watched one film, which theoretically is as little as I could want to watch, surely that wouldn't be a marathon, right? Which is the whole point. And it certainly wouldn't be a bunch, which I think we've already established is pretty close to the point. Forget the point! But if there isn't a point, then what's the point? I don't know! You're me! I'm you! You tell me! Well, I don't know. In this instance, you know, we technically are the same person, but you are you, I'm me. And within the confines of this video, we are kind of like separate people. It's like an offshoot, basically. You know, I have the young teen offender's mustache, you have the scruffy looking chin strap. I don't know the point, you don't know the point, and I'm pointing at you. This is exhausting. And that is beside the point. Look, you need to watch some classic films you've never seen before for this week's video, okay? I need to watch, or you need to watch? We need to watch! Okay. Fine. No problem. Okay, fine. Alright, how about, Day of the Dead? Over my dead body. Touch of Evil? I won't be touching that anytime soon. Two-lane blacktop? More like two-lane black knot. City Girl? I won't be giving that a whirl. How about Serpico? How about Serpi No? Okay, how about Double Indemnity? How about double... Nah. Well, this has been productive. What kind of video is this, by the way? What? Well, is it on video? Is it a video? Is it on film? Of course it's not on film. It's 2014. But you did say, alright, let's film the skit. I mean, why would you say that if there wasn't any film actually inside the camera? It is a figure of speech. It doesn't mean I'm literally shooting something, bang, 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 bang. No, I'm shooting a video. It's filmmaking lingo designed to make me feel better about the fact that I'm making an unfunny, poorly made, no good, dime a dozen, worthless piece of unholy amateur garbage that is captured digitally on a camcorder. I was only asking. Oh, okay. Should we go watch some films then? Sure. Cool. Hello, welcome back to the Blu-ray Brothers channel. I'm Luke, and this week is marathon week. Whether it be, a full non-stop marathon or watching a few movies from a particular genre or whatever over a few days and then talking about them in a video. This, my video, as you probably see from the title, is my Unseen Classics Marathon. Now, I've done marathons in the past. I did the 24-hour movie marathon that Ryan Chatway started all those years ago. Well, not all those years, only 2 years actually, thinking about it. I guess because it's been 3 so far, it makes me think it was 3 years ago, but it's actually been 2 years. Okay, 2 years ago that he started it in 2012. I've done 3 of those. I've did, what did I do? There was one, Fright Fest. I did the Fright Fest last year. I still haven't posted that video actually. Kind of like a horror movie mini marathon. Did 4 horror films. I really should get around to posting that actually. It was quite a good one. Well, it was fun to do. I don't know how if the video was any good. And then for the Blu-ray Brothers channel, recently I did my silent movie marathon, which was like 2 hours long. I just went all out with that one, and it just kept building and building and building. This one, I hope to God that this one doesn't get out of hand and become like hours long, but I'm sure it won't be because I'm really focused on being concise with this video. But basically there are so many films I haven't seen before, so many classic films. I like to think of myself as a film buff and someone who loves film and is a big fan of the history of cinema, but there's just so many classic films I've never seen. Now, when I say classic, there can be a film that's seen as a classic by everyone. Like, even if you don't like it, you have to accept that Ben-Hur's a classic. That Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, all those movies, they're like classics. But also for me, in this video, I haven't really planned it out because there's just so many to choose from. A classic could be something like There Will Be Blood from a few years ago, which is seen as like an instant classic, like a great masterpiece of a film. Everyone gives it like 5 stars across the board and stuff. So probably won't go much later than that, but I want to do some old movies and things like that. Maybe some silent films. I don't know yet. I might save that for an upcoming silent. There might be more silent videos, I guess, in the future. Also Hitchcock, I'm ruling out because I really want to get that box set one day and go through them on Blu-ray really. Now I have a list. That was probably really unflattering to twist my face around like that, but I have a list on my laptop. Unseen Classics, and I have a list of films I have on Blu-ray here that I can use for this. Now I have one full of Blu-rays, 2 full of Blu-rays, 3 full of Blu-rays, 4 full of Blu-rays, and 5 full of Blu-rays. I have, a lot of them. And of course I have the ones in the, the actual cases and stuff. All of these in the disc holders are from back home in Wales. So I'm probably going to stick with the Blu-rays, but also, there's Netflix, and, there's a few things I can download as well. So there's just so many. I mean, I just don't even know where to start. Well, I do know where to start. I've already decided where I'm starting, but I don't know where to, I'm trying to plan it carefully so that it'll keep me interested. And also, I'm not doing this in a wanna by any stretch. I'm home alone for the weekend, so I'm going to watch maybe like 2 films tonight, maybe 3. It's already 9 o'clock and I've got to go make dinner. I'm late with making dinner, but I haven't felt that hungry yet, so I'm going to do it now before it gets too late. And I'm going to start with the first film, and then maybe watch 1 more or 2 more, see how it goes. And then tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to get all the stuff I need to get done, go to the gym, get some housework done and all that kind of stuff that I need to do. And then I'll try and plow through a sizable amount of films and maybe a couple on Sunday and round it off. It's not going to be a huge marathon at all, but we'll see what happens. I'm more inclined to pick shorter films so I can fit in more, but then, the real hard-hitting classics are usually like epic length, and I have tons of suggestions, so anyone who's watching this who sent these in on the Facebook page, my my Razor Wire Reviews Facebook profile. It's not a page anymore, it's a profile that you can add me as a friend. It's much easier that way, I found. And yeah, so a lot of people on there, I said, give me some classics that you'd like to see me watch and talk about, and I've had tons of suggestions, and a few of them I will be doing. And a few of them I might keep this list, and on my channel Razor Wire Reviews I might just do like a weekly thing on the weekend, like just watch one of them and give a shout out to the person who suggested it, and kind of just keep an Unseen Classics series going. But I really want to just, again, devour all these classics. And this year for me, 2014, you know, in the past 9 months, I've broadened my horizons as a film fan more than I have in, I guess, the past 26 years. I mean, I've seen so many that I have that, you know, were just there waiting for me to, you know, enjoy them and discover them for the first time. You know, films like Citizen Kane, The General, Metropolis, M, you know, Woman in the Moon. A lot of films that have jumped straight into my top 20 favourite films of all time list. You know, so many classics. Faust, Die Nibelungen, Silent Running, Sunrise, For All Mankind. There's another silent film as well. Our Hospitality, another Buster Keaton one. Yeah, I've seen so many films that have just blown me away, and I just want to keep that going. I want to make 2014 like a really important year in my life as a film lover, and I want to try and get as many classics under my belt by the end of the year, if I can. So this is kind of a starting, well, not a starting point because I've already been doing it, but this is a starting point of me trying to really just get loads in there and really just, you know, knuckle down and watch a ton of great movies. So yeah, it should be good. I mean, I compiled my my top 250 favorite films of all time list, and it's by no means a concrete list because there's bound to be films I've forgotten about. But the top 20, I'm definitely completely happy with. And for years I had a top 50 list. I expanded that to 100, then I went to 150, 200, 250. I'm sure I could go to 300. I've been noting down ones that I forgot before I posted that 250 list on Letterboxd, but I'm going to cut it off now. I finished it at the end of August. It's now the beginning of September. So anything I see now, I'm not going to add it into my top 250 until maybe the end of this year, or maybe next summer. And see how the landscape changes after I've watched loads more of films that I'm sure I'm going to love, because I do love classic movies, and yeah, I just have a passion for so many different types of movies, and that's kind of what I'm going to try and do here. So I'm going to be starting off, I'm not sure which one it's in, I'll show you once I find it. Hopefully this one, yes, straight away got it. This is the first film I'm going to be watching. It wasn't suggested, but it's one that I knew I was going to put in there because, as a Brit, you know, British man, I feel it's my duty to watch this film, and it's almost a sin that I haven't already. And indeed, that I haven't seen anything from these group of guys who essentially retired their act this year, a couple of months ago, in the O2 Arena at London. Monty Python said goodbye after like 50 years or whatever it was of, you know, TV shows, movies, and, you know, on the stage and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to watch their first kind of, I guess, narrative movie, Monty Python's, is it called? Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So there you go. This is one of the Sony collector's editions from Scandinavia. And yeah, I have this as well as Life of Brian, so I might watch Life of Brian as well. I know they're only 90 minutes, and that's good, and, you know, not too long. But I can't wait to see it. I've seen bits of these films, of course. I mean, you know, Monty Python seems to have just permeated the consciousness of, you know, Britain. You know, and I've definitely felt their influence in so many things, and I've seen so many clips, you know, throughout my lifetime. But I haven't sat down and fully watched, you know, an episode of the show, you know, Flying Circus, or the movie. I did watch, like, I was in, see, this is where I actually am going to make this video stupidly long. Oh, God. Okay, well, I'm just enjoying this, so whatever, who cares? It's me. I'm always going to make these stupidly long videos. It's ridiculous. The amount of content I put out is just... Who is even... Because I haven't even started this thing yet. Hopefully it won't be too many... Okay. I'll leave this in. It's no problem. Okay. Hey, the Silent Marathon did great. It was 2 hours long and it got a great response, so what the hell. I guess people do enjoy this kind of thing, even though I still don't see it myself. But hopefully you're not too bored yet. And I'm just going way out of thing now because I'm just talking about the fact that it's getting long, and I've wasted probably a full minute now. I'm so sorry. Monty Python, yes, I was camping with my uncle and my 2 cousins when I was quite young, maybe somewhere between 8 and 10, maybe even 12. We were out camping, my uncle had his laptop, and it was either The Holy Grail or Life of Brian. He had the DVDs, he also had the DVDs of the young ones. And I was like, I haven't seen that. And he's like, you haven't seen the Monty Python and the Holy Grail? I was like, no. And he's like, oh, we got to watch that. So he put the DVD in, but his laptop had been like cracked slightly, and so the screen, like I don't know, maybe like that, about that much, was kind of, if you're looking at the screen of this video as if it's a laptop screen, about that much was kind of all like you know, like blue and kind of, yeah, just, you know, knackered basically. So we couldn't really enjoy it, and you know, we just ended up only watching about 20 minutes of it, I think, and then we just watched some episodes of the young ones, I think. But so yeah, I'm gonna get into it now. Monty Python and Holy Grail. And yeah, I'm gonna go make my dinner now. I'm gonna have some beef tacos, which I love, one of my favorite meals to make and eat and enjoy. Pardon me. I'll make that before I watch the film. And yeah, looking forward to seeing the high definition too. Should be great. And yeah, I think again, I'm going to start with this and then maybe go, because with some of these classics, they're either going to be one really long, which will be kind of, you know, hard, it'll drain, you know, energy out of me when I'm kind of watching a couple of movies in a row today and tomorrow night. But also a lot of classic movies are kind of quite serious in tone and nature, and you know, emotional dramas, things like that. And so I want to kind of pepper in a few kind of light-hearted, quick movies like this one. And you know, I'm thinking about watching like something like, I don't know, like a 50s comedy, or you know, there's so many different types of films I haven't seen yet, and that's what I'm kind of trying to do here, is broaden my horizons. And it's been almost 12 minutes, and if there's a skit at the beginning of this, then it's probably even longer for you. So let's just get going on my unseen classics marathon. Alright, I'm ready to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I had a bit of a panic because I loaded it up and it had one of those, you know, sometimes Blu-rays have like a tiny logo, like from the film, and it kind of like, as it loads, the Blu-ray. This one had 3 cups, and they're kind of black and white, and then as it loads they turn colour gold. But then it just didn't do anything for like ages. I was getting it ready before I cooked dinner. Then again, I turned it off, turned it back on, same thing, wouldn't load, turned it off. Went into the PlayStation 3 menu and selected play from beginning, still didn't work. I was getting really stressed out because I was really kind of amping myself up to watch this, getting really excited about it, and then I rebooted it for the 4th time, went down, started dinner, making the salad and stuff, and then came back up after about 10 minutes and it was on, thankfully. I don't know if it took 10 minutes to get on, but nonetheless, I guess it was just a kind of an old Blu-ray that took a while to load. Anyway, anyone who's seen my 24-hour movie marathon will know that what I have when I have tacos, beef tacos. Oh, there we go. Just turn this down. My TV will let me even do anything. It's not. There we go. So I'll give you a little bird's eye view now. So you got the beef there, which is cooked how I like it, not necessarily the most healthy, but there you go. I got some of these, which is usually what you put the beef in and eat it like that, but we like to crack these up and put them inside with the beef in these kind of tortillas. Put the beef in, crackle some of those. We've got sour cream here, extra light. Put some of that on, put some of the salsa on, and then I had this covered just in case any bugs came. We've got some tomatoes, cucumber. Love cucumber, and lettuce. So let's go and get ready to experience Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Okay. Okay, this is kind of awesome. I'll talk about it later, but for all you Friday Night Ritual fans out there, Robbie, Ryan, here's a gratuitous shot of me eating the taco. Very good. Okay, here we go, the film's starting. Well, that was that. That was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I don't think I've ever seen a film that doesn't have credits at the end. It's just a blank screen and this jaunty little show tune to close out proceedings. And there was a full credit listing at the beginning. But yeah, that's interesting. As that prick Justin Bieber would say, I don't recall. I don't think I have seen any film that has ended like this. I'm sure there's many. I think about that sometimes, you know, about ending a film with, you know, without credits, or, you know, with a certain amount of just black until the credit. No. Anyway, that's just a random thought. So my thoughts on the actual film itself. Up and down for me. I really enjoyed it. You know, when you're in one of those moods where you're just not in the mood to laugh. I was in one of those moods just now. But I still enjoyed it. It's one of those things where you can enjoy comedy and find it funny enough that it would make you laugh in different moods, but you just end up not laughing but still enjoying it and enjoying the humour. And a lot of this was great. Just really funny writing, very irreverent humour, very British. Monty Python were just, you know, in a league of their own and in a world of their own. I mean, they're just very much themselves, you know, and this film breaks the fourth wall so many times in very interesting ways. And you know, there's a scene where they get to a castle and it's like, oh, Camelot, and you see all the different reactions of all the characters. Camelot, oh, Camelot, and then, you know, someone else goes, it's only a model, you know. I love stuff like that. And actually, when I made a film in 2004 called Misplaced, when I was 16, just left, or 15 actually, like 15, 16, I just left high school, and someone from America watched it online and said that it reminded him very much of Monty Python, which I took as a compliment, but only because I knew how much of you know, how high of a regard Monty Python were held in, but I'd never really, you know, knew completely. I mean, the Black Knight scene, you know, is a classic one that I've seen, you know, but I just hadn't seen the whole film, so I knew bits and pieces of it, but. Yeah, generally I really did love it actually, and there's some bits, even though I said I wasn't in a mood to really laugh out loud, there were a couple of bits I was really laughing out loud at, particularly Lancelot, John Cleese's, his attack on the swamp castle is absolutely brilliant. He runs in and he's just killing everyone, he's killing women left and right, chopping people. Oh, it was just hilarious. And the other scene was the monster in the cave. That whole sequence was just incredible. Oh, it was brilliant. I thought the ending was a bit of a, I don't know, not an anticlimax, but you know, the joke itself I think has been done better in Blazing Saddles, if you know what I mean. If you've seen both of them, I think that kind of whole gag was done in a much grander scale with Blazing Saddles. This one just seemed to kind of, you know, and you can tell the budgetary constraints they had, and I think this was the one that was quite low budget, and they had various kind of bands chip in for the funding. I'm just going to find that out now while I keep talking about the film. But you know, Michael Palin, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Terry Gilliam. I'm not sure who Terry Jones is. It? That's just a complete guess. See, I'm not too brushed up. I know Michael Palin, Eric Idle, Terry Gilliam, mainly for his directing these days, and over the past like 30 years, I suppose, and also of course John Cleese. Yeah, Terry Jones, and Graham Chapman. Now Graham Chapman, is he the one? Yeah, okay. So he died a long time ago, and in fact there was some kind of tribute to him when they did their goodbye tour back in July, I think. So I'm just checking if that's the guy who plays King Arthur in Holy Grail. See, again, I'm very much a newcomer to all this, which might even offend some people. I know it's held in such high regard, you know. But yeah, so 1975 this film's from. It has a 97% fresh rating, and is consistently ranked on, you know, one of the best comedy films ever made. And yeah, I'd go with that. Okay, the budget was $400,000, and it made over $5 million, so that's good. Let me just see. Yeah, Graham Chapman plays King Arthur. Okay, so he's the one who is not around anymore. But yeah, all of them are great, and they play so many different characters. And if you've seen it, then I'm sure you know. I like all of them. All of them did great jobs in different roles. And again, I love the irreverent humour, and the breaking the fourth wall was done very well. I'm just trying to find out if it was this one that was funded by bands. I'm sure it was. Yeah, investments with rock groups such as Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin and Jethro Tull. That's interesting. So it was only £229,000, which is a ridiculous. Well, I guess if you go back, it's a lot more money, but still. And you can tell some of the budgetary constraints, particularly for the ending, I think. But overall, I thought it was great, and I'm looking forward to watching it many more times in the future. There's a ton of cool special features on the Blu-ray. I just haven't got the time to check it out, and I find that more and more these days. I would rather watch another film than watch a film with commentary, which is quite different from, say, 10 years ago. Whenever I'd have a DVD, I would watch everything. I love commentaries, and I would just devour everything, but I just haven't got the time these days to do that, when I could be watching another film or doing something else. But maybe one day I'll get to them. But yeah, love the film. I'd probably, I don't know, give it like a 9 out of 10, I think. Just some hilarious stuff, and a really unique film, I think. Now I've decided what I'm going to watch next already, and I think this might just be the only one for the rest of the night. Let me just see if this is the right... Nope, it's not. There's so many of these black things, I'm not sure which is, or what is in what. It's definitely in this one though. So, it was only going to be inevitable that I was going to watch a few Masters of Cinema releases during this this marathon. And, oh, do I have it? Yeah, okay. So I have the Masters of Cinema box set called Late Mizoguchi, which is 8 films by Kenji Mizoguchi, Japanese director. And right here we have the Blu-ray for Yugetsu Monogatari. Now, I heard great things about this, and someone suggested this on Facebook. I had it in my head already, but I'll give them a name check right now before I actually watch it. Who was it who suggested it? Should be here. There's so many suggestions. Thanks, by the way, to everyone who did send in suggestions for classics I should watch. Kevin Crawford recommended that I watch Yugetsu Monogatari, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop that in now and try not and fiddle flip around and go on the computer and then take an hour to start watching the film again. It's like getting really late now, so I'm just going to pop it straight in and completely shift tonal gears with this Japanese drama. I believe it is anyway, so let's get right into it. Should be worth noting, and it's pretty much worth noting every time I watch a Masters of Cinema Blu-ray, but I love the menu. Just really simple, really cool. And this one comes with another film, Oyu-sama. It's basically 4 Blu-ray discs in the set that make up the 8 films, but when you buy them individually, it sells one film and then with this one. So the main thing here is Yugetsu Monogatari. So let's just get right in with it and watch the film. Okay, it's kind of day 2 now of the Unseen Classics marathon. I think I finished watching Yugetsu Monogatari around, I don't know, actually I'm not even sure. I was up really late anyway, and I was just too tired to turn the camera on and kind of get my thoughts into order. But suffice it to say, you know, Yugetsu Monogatari by Kenji Mizoguchi, 1953 film from Japan, fantastic. I mean, I just loved it. Excuse me, I'll leave that in. Yeah, and you'll probably tell I just did my awesome skit that you've probably seen beforehand. Well, you will have seen beforehand. Okay, yeah, it was a great film, and I didn't know too much about it. I just heard, you know, people saying, oh, Yugetsu, fantastic, you know. It's also known just as Yugetsu, which is translated to the moon and rain, or rain and moon. And Monogatari is kind of like story tales, so it's kind of like the tales of, you know, rain and moon. And it's kind of a supernatural thing going on in the film, which I didn't realize until like way past like the halfway point. And suffice it to say that the direction, the cinematography was fantastic, the acting was great, and just an interesting story. You know, you got these farmers, basically, they're the main characters of the story, 2 couples and a small child, and, you know, war's raging. It's a period piece, it's set in, I think, the 1600s, and so they're trying to make money and all this kind of thing, and the army comes in and starts raiding the villages, and so they got to try and escape, and, you know, they all go their separate ways, and different things happen to the characters, and there's just some very interesting stories going on. And the main kind of story that goes on with the lead male character, I think, was really interesting and hypnotic, and, well, not hypnotic, well, I guess, no, hypnotic is the wrong word. I think haunting would be a better one. Like, I was kind of transfixed with what was going on, and I kind of felt there was something not quite right about it, and that's kind of where it ended up going. and towards like the last third of the film, there were some really creepy scenes. Like it really like actually creeped me out, and it takes a lot to creep me out. And it wasn't like, you know, oh, a big monster or loads of spiders or, you know, anything like that. It was just the mood, you know. It wasn't even an idea of anything. Well, I guess it was an idea of something. It was an idea of the unknown, of a mysterious something, and just the cinematography and the sound design, I think, really just the wind and things like that just really augmented this really cool atmosphere where I was like, oh, this is really creeping me out, you know, where's this going to go? And then when it went where it went, I was like, wow. And then, you know, the last 10 minutes were just really poignant and really well done. It's a 10 out of 10 for me, definitely. An absolute classic. And that's what I'm really doing this for, to see these films that are absolute classics. And the Blu-ray looked great, and yeah, just great stuff all around, really. I watched the little 8-minute featurette on the film that's on the Blu-ray by Tony Raines. He kind of talks about the film briefly. This is where he mentioned that the film is roughly translated as the tales of the rain and the moon, something like that. Very interesting, and but yeah, a fantastic film. And thanks Kevin Crawford for recommending it. I was aware of it, but you know, your recommendation really pushed me to actually watch it, which is what I was asking for the recommendations for. I mean, most of the films I have heard of, but I just, you know, if anyone wants to kind of put out an extra kind of incentive for me to do it just by them suggesting it, then it kind of, I don't know, it gives me kind of a, I don't know, it just feels cool to do it, because then it feels like it's more of an interactive video, you know what I mean? Where I can kind of bring people's suggestions into things. And I might continue this on my Raise Where Reviews channel and use some more of these suggestions in future videos. We'll see what happens. Now, I'm going to watch a film on Netflix now, and it's basically kind of just, again, work it, you know, where I'm going like up and down through emotions, and that was like a really, some real emotional stuff in Ugetsu. So I'm going to go in, hopefully, an opposite direction. I'm going to go with a comedy, but I think it's got more of a comedy drama twist to it. And I know it's one of Ryan Chataway's favourite films. I'm pretty sure it's either this or Manhattan, but it's Annie Hall. By Woody Allen, 1977, starring the man himself and Diane Keaton. So I'm really looking forward to checking it out. It's on Netflix, it's in HD, so that should be cool. And yeah, just a quick film to watch as well, only an hour and a half, so I'm going to watch that now and come back to you with my thoughts. Alright, so I just got done watching Annie Hall. That was brilliant, that was actually amazing. A really great film, wow. I actually, at times I was thinking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and they came out within a few years of each other. Just like there's an animated sequence, you know, there's a lot of irreverent, I hate to overuse that word, but offbeat, off-kilter, breaking the fourth wall humor in this film. Not a lot of it, a bit of it, I think. There's fantastical elements to it, but most of it is kind of like a straight-up drama, or you know, comedy drama, I guess you could say, with you know, the romantic element of Woody Allen and Diane Keaton's character, Annie Hall. And I know that her real name is Diane Hall, and people will call her Annie because her name's Diane. So really, it's, you know, it's her, you know, and the movie was written for her, and they had a relationship, a personal relationship together. You know, they had a professional relationship together. They made many films, but this one I think is considered one of his best, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It felt like it was like 2.5 hours long. There was so much packed into that hour and a half. You know, runtime, and I find that a lot of Woody Allen's films are always around 90 minutes, and it goes to show you can do so much with 90 minutes. You can do so much with an hour and a half. I love long films when they're great, but sometimes you can really achieve a lot with just an hour and 30 minutes, and it really did with this. We see many different kind of points in their relationship. He plays a man called Alvy Singer, who's a comedian, and she's kind of an aspiring singer, but he's the intellectual, you know, the neurotic type, and she's more of a ditzy kind of character, I guess you could say. And so, you know, they kind of complement each other, and you know, in terms of being in a relationship, they don't like say you're good, you know what I mean? Like, you know, just the characters work well together, and I really enjoyed Woody Allen's character. And you know, I think people say that a lot of the films where he stars as himself, he's just kind of playing himself, but I think he did a great job. And you know, there's some hilarious lines in this, really funny. Laughed out loud at a couple of them, and there's a great cast as well of like people who weren't quite huge, you know, but were going to go on to bigger things. Shelley Duvall was in almost a blink and you'll miss it scene. Jeff Goldblum in a definite blink and you'll miss it scene. He's in the film for like 3 seconds, if that. Christopher Walken, a very young Christopher Walken's in this. It's good to see some people like that. But Diane Keaton was great. I always liked Diane Keaton. I think she's awesome, and she's great in this. And their relationship was really interesting to watch. And it's told, you know, non-linear. You know, you start near the end of their relationship, and then, you know, it cuts to different things, and then it's at the beginning, and then the actual characters in the you know, the narrative that you're watching will then observe parts of, you know, the other character's life, and, you know, that's the fantasy element coming in. But it really was a unique thing to do, and worked really well. There's a great scene where they're waiting in a line for a movie, and there's a guy behind them kind of dissecting Fellini and stuff, and Woody Allen's like, oh, it was a great little scene. And the whole film is made up of great little scenes, and I think it's because there's so many scenes and it keeps going that it feels longer than it is, and you get more of a scope of their relationship and his character as well. I read afterwards he wasn't happy with the film because people were mostly interested in the relationship between him and Ali Hall, when he was going for something that was more focusing on the mind of a man. I don't know how I feel about that, but I just thought she was just, yeah, I think she won an Oscar for this film, actually, which I think would, yeah, that'd be rightly deserved, because it was a really great kind of endearing performance from her. She was really cool, especially the scene where she's first met Alvy and she's trying to ask him out in a way, and she's kind of nervous and stuff, and it's a really great scene, actually, one of my favourite of the film, thinking about it. And it ended on a really kind of poignant, bittersweet note, not to give anything away, but I really enjoyed it. To me, that's definitely one of the best comedies that I've seen, and would definitely give it a 10 out of 10, I have to say, because I think it just accomplished so much in an hour and a half. You know, there's so much great writing in there, there's amazing chemistry between the two, some great cinematography. I mean, it's almost like a love letter to New York. You see so much of the city, and I just thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. And it got me thinking, like, as I was watching it, like, you know, romance plays such a big part in film history. And I looked at my top 20 favourite films, and almost every single one of them has an element of romance. It's like, I mean, there's always a film that, you know, I mean, there are films that don't have, you know, a romantic subplot, but every film, you know, mostly, I guess I can't say every film. What am I talking about now? I don't know. Lots of films have, you know, a romantic element to them. Sometimes they're strong, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's about the romance, sometimes it's just in the background. Sometimes it's shoehorned in and it doesn't work. Sometimes it's there and it just works and it's perfect, and that was almost what Annie Hall was. It was almost the perfect kind of romantic comedy drama, I think, and yeah, I really liked it. Really loved it, in fact. I mean, yeah, definitely a 10 out of 10. Can't wait to watch it again in the future once I've kind of you know, let it simmer down in my mind and revisit it. And then of course there's other films. Manhattan I definitely want to watch because Diane Keaton's in that one as well, so it'd be great to see those two on screen together again. But yeah, overall, great stuff, and I don't know what I'm going to watch next, so I'm going to kind of decide that now. And I think maybe there might only be like one, well, at least 2 more films, maybe 3. I think 6 films is a decent amount. I'm aware that at this point I haven't really done like super classics. That was kind of what I was going for, but then I kind of look at the Blu-rays I have, and I kind of want to watch them before I don't know. And also, if I watch like Ben-Hur and Gone with the Wind and Lawrence of Arabia, then that's like, what, 12 hours, you know, and that's probably about as long as I'm going to be watching films. I'd rather do like 6 films than 3, you know, I don't know, and save those kind of big heavy hitters until for like just a one-off, you know, where I'm going to watch this today and that's that, and then, you know, move on and not lump it in with loads of other films. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And again, I've actually enjoyed doing this, and because of all the suggestions from Facebook, I think I will maybe do like every now and again on the weekend I'll watch a classic film and do a video like this, just talking about my initial reactions to it, and kind of shout out the person who recommended it on Facebook, I think so, and just have it like an Unseen Classics ongoing thing. But yeah, anyway, moving on, I'll find the next film and I'll see you once I've decided. Okay, so I'm just going to make some food before I continue. I got a little bit of beef left over from yesterday, so I'm just going to have leftovers, really, and have probably one more beef taco, and just have some fruit really and not overdo it tonight. But yeah, the next film is going to be a real classic. That's I think right now it'll be about almost 85 years old. Really old film from F.W. Murnau. I'll tell you all about it in just a second. But I was just thinking, the films I've watched so far, all of them have been 90 minutes long. Meaning of Life, about 90 minutes. Ugetsu, about 90 minutes. Annie Hall, about 90 minutes. And City Girl is also about 90 minutes. So after City Girl, I'm going to go for something that's not an hour and a half, just because it feels like I'm almost cheating by going for short films. I don't know. But yeah, it's worked out great so far. There've been 3 awesome films. Really enjoyed them. And Meaning of Life was just really awesome. I really enjoyed that one. And just the humour was great. And I might even watch the other Monty Python film, which I also have on Blu-ray, which is Life of Brian. Showed you the disc earlier, so I might just watch that because I just love. Oh! Huh. 'Tis but a scratch. Okay, so the film I have decided on is City Girl by F.W. Murnau. Just briefly to kind of touch on it, this is the 4th F.W. Murnau film I'll be watching, and it's the 4th that has been released on the Massive Cinema label that I'll be watching as well. And this one's from 1930. I believe this is a silent film. Let me just double check. Yeah, silent version restoration. So yeah. After the visual fireworks of Sunrise and the now lost splendour of Four Devils, F.W. Murnau turned his attention to this vivid, painterly study of an impulsive and fragile marriage among the wheat fields of Minnesota. So the German director Murnau, he went to America and started making films. He did Sunrise, which is one of my favourite films ever, Four Devils, which has unfortunately been lost forever, which is a real shame, and then this one, City Girl, in 1930. So, sound films were coming around at this time in the early 30s. Well, as soon as the 20s gave way to the 30s, but Murnau stuck with the silent film for this one, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to checking it out. I've basically loved the 3 films I've seen of his. Nosferatu from 1922, I thought it was great, and then Faust from 1926, which I thought was just a visual masterpiece, 10 out of 10. And then after that, Sunrise, which is just, again, a 10 out of 10, absolute masterpiece. So I don't think it'll quite be another masterpiece, because that would just be crazy if he made pretty much 3 in a row, if you take out Four Devils. So either way, I'm looking forward to checking it out. And I've got a glass of Coke ready to go. And as usual, I'll give you the obligatory showing off of the Massive Cinema menu. Again, just really simple and classy, and the images are changing every now and again. And we got a commentary on this Blu-ray. But yeah, looking forward to checking this out. Seems in a similar vein of Sunrise, but of course I could be completely wrong, and we'll see what happens. And yeah, let's go and play film. Oh, okay, so I just got done watching City Girl, and yeah, might be it for me tonight. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. It's late, but I don't know if I'm going to have the intestinal fortitude to carry on with this tonight. Anyway, I'm going to do at least a couple more tomorrow. But anyway, City Girl, oh, it was brilliant. It was really brilliant. I loved it. It would have been a 10 out of 10, it would have been perfect if it wasn't for the last 5 minutes of the film, which I loved, but, well, I'll get into that, and I'll try and briefly talk about it. Basically, well, the plot first of all. We have this young American man from Minnesota, a simple farmer boy, and the film opens with him taking a train to Chicago to sell his family's wheat crop. And his name's Lem. And in the big city of Chicago, he falls in love with a waitress called Kate in a restaurant, and she falls in love with him. And to cut the first half of the movie short, they do fall in love, they do get together, and she goes back with him to the country because, the city is portrayed as this kind of, just all these people, and you know I don't know I don't know what word I could use. I'm thinking in my head is like dehumanizing. I think that's not even a word. See, this is how late it is. I shouldn't be trying to do reviews at 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, the city is portrayed as this kind of, I don't know, the moral kind of factor I think is portrayed like it's a little low in the city, and you know the prospects of having a good life in the city aren't there, and she kind of idealizes the country as being, you know, more of a perfect life with better people basically. So Kate and Lem, they go back to Minnesota together, and are warmly received by his family, except for his father, who is a tough-nosed hard ass, I guess you could say. He's very, you know, he doesn't like the fact that that Lem is taken up with a waitress and got married to her so quickly, and he assumes that she's after something like the farm or whatever. And you know, to kind of temper things as well, Lem didn't get enough money, or as much money as his father wanted, so he's really pissed off about it, and he makes Kate's life on the farm very difficult. And then all these workers come in, labourers, to harvest the crops, and they're just leering after her and stuff, and conspiring to split her and Lem up, just for the hell of it, really, because you know it's like they've never seen a woman of her class before, even though she's, you know, she was a lowly waitress, but she was from the city, so it's a different kind of, I guess it's kind of the social thing coming into it. But you know, when you get on the farm, some amazing cinematography, great shots of all these fields, and generally the lighting and you know the cinematography was really great. And I read up after I'd finished watching the film that Murnau was, his relationship working with you know 20th Century Fox, you know, at the end of the 20s when he moved over to the US to make films, was quite strained the longer it went on. And with this film, and in 1930, as I said before, you know, around this time the talkies had come around, and sound was being used in film, and that's my Facebook going off. I'll leave that in as well. The talkie was coming around, and so you know the studios were pushing for that, but Murnau didn't want to do it. He wanted to do a silent film, and there was kind of struggles with the studio, with City Girl, to the point where you know they were like, well, we're going to shoot some stuff and just make it a sound film. And so he left before the film was finished, and an assistant director completed the film, and then the studio went back and reshot stuff and made a kind of hybrid silent / sound version of the film, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, the full silent version is what is presented on the Blu-ray from Massive Cinema, 90 minutes long. The sound version was only about 77 minutes long, so interesting really. But anyway, the thing for me about the ending was, you know, it was all leading towards Lem standing up to his dad, or you know, Lem's father kind of accepting Kate into the family basically, and it was all a case of how it was going to happen, whether it was going to be Lem standing up to him, because that was really the problem, he wouldn't stand up to his father, or two, you know, would Kate do something that would really change Lem's father's his opinion of her, and kind of see her in a different light. But it wasn't any of those things. It was really, and I'm sure no one watching this is really going to go and watch City Girl, but you know, the way it ended was basically, you know, Lem's father realized, due to a kind of near fatal circumstance, you know, that he shouldn't be taking his son for granted, and he suddenly kind of feels remorseful. But you know, his kind of the way he patches things up with Kate at the end of the film, which is kind of, you know, the climax of the film, and makes it all right in the world, it just felt a bit too convenient. You know, it felt a bit too like it's for his character to be such a, you know, a stone-faced prick throughout, and then to go through something which I could understand, but it didn't really relate to her, and so it was. This is probably really confusing people, I'm sorry, but I don't even know why I'm trying to avoid spoilers, because again, I'm sure no one's really gonna, not many of you anyway, are gonna go and watch City Girl, but I just found it just a tiny bit too convenient, when the film itself had been great throughout, and the performances were great, and I really bought into it, and the emotion of it. Not as much as Sunrise, you know, his Murnau's earlier romance, but at the same time, they're very good companion pieces, I think, with different themes, but there's something that links them, and I think it'd make a great double feature, actually. But yeah, I just felt the ending was a little bit too wrapped up. But again, I had similar criticisms of Sunrise, even though that's 10 out of 10 for me and one of my favourite films ever. You know, just like little things, like, you know, but you have to kind of see it as more of a melodrama and more of a kind of, you know, morality play, you know, that kind of thing. But there wasn't as much of that in City Girl. City Girl was more realistic, actually. You know, you didn't have the big flashy special effects, the big sets, the, you know, the hints of the German expressionism kind of lingering there at the end of his career with Sunrise, or near the end of his career with Sunrise. But in City Girl, there's none of that expressionism, but there's still the great direction and the framing and the, you know, everything that you see on screen and the lighting. But yeah, I absolutely adored the film. I probably give it like a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. Just brilliant. I'm trying to swat a midgie away, not just randomly doing this. So yeah, City Girl for me, absolutely fantastic. I guess it probably wouldn't really be classed as a classic, but then for me, I'm just going for films that I know have been rated as really, really good, and from, you know, usually from years and years ago. And I did think I'd probably watch something from like the 2000s during this, but I think I'm not going to leave that. But there's possibly one from the 90s I might watch. But I'm actually definitely going to be going on to the 40s and 50s. At least before this whole thing is over. So if I watch another one tonight, then you'll know instantly. But otherwise, that was my thoughts on City Girl. Really, really loved it. Murnau is just an amazing director, and yeah, I really liked it. Just the whole setting and everything was just really enjoyable to watch. I just enjoyed every second of it, really. It was just the ending that I feel, you know, there could have been just a tiny little thing in there that would have made the climactic moment between Lem's father and Kate's all the more satisfying, and it would have put a nice button on the end of it, and I probably would have given it a 10 out of 10. But you know, it wasn't bad. It was just not as good as it could have been, I think, just that part of the plot. Otherwise, awesome. So there you go. Alright, it is 2 days later since that night that I watched City Girl, and pretty much getting ready now to set up for the home stretch and watch probably 2 more films for this Unseen Classics marathon. And the one I've decided on, oh, I haven't found out who, someone did suggest this, and I was going to watch it anyway, but I'll get the name up on my suggestions list. But this is a film I've been looking forward to watching for, oh, I don't know, maybe 3 years, ever since I got into the genre that it's a part of. And I'd always heard that it was one of the best, you know, versions of, or best films in the genre, and that genre is film noir. And this was suggested by Phil Rosier. Let me know how to pronounce that. And yeah, that was one of his many suggestions. Another film he suggested was Sunset Boulevard, which I'm pretty sure is directed by the same director, Billy Wilder. And I have the massive cinema release here. I love this steelbook. I got it Christmas, the last Christmas. And just, yeah, I love it. I think it's an awesome steelbook. It's got great inside artwork and some cool, well, a cool booklet, I should say, with some cool images and stuff like that. And I'll read the articles once I've seen the film. But I don't know why, it's one of those films I've always wanted to see and have heard great things about. I've seen other film noir films. The Glass Key is one of them. The Maltese Falcon. But this one I've heard nothing but great things about, and I just haven't got around to watching it. You know, and all you Blu-ray collectors and, you know, addicts, I guess you could say, out there will know probably all too well the feeling of buying a film that you really want to watch, but you just don't get around to it for a very long time. But now is the time. I'm going to watch it. Double Indemnity. Should be awesome. Starring Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. Let's do it. And here's the obligatory shot of the menu. Again, I love the artwork that's on the steelbook and that's used here on the menu. Just looks really classic, really cool, and really interesting. Just a very dynamic, striking image. And yeah, we got one of those things here to play the film with just the music and sound effects. I don't get who does that, but that's just me. I'm going to play the film with the dialogue, and yeah, let's do this. Okay, I just got done watching Double Indemnity, and wow, what a film. This was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Brilliant film, absolutely brilliant. Trying trying to get a shadow on my face, I guess I have to do it this way. So the film is about, it's set in Los Angeles in the 40s, and that's interesting. The spine number of this title is number 44 in the collection of Masters of Cinema, and it was released in 1944, so that's interesting. But yeah, the film stars a guy who he works in insurance, and the beginning of the film is a very atmospheric, you know, credits, titles, and then you see this man wandering into this insurance place late at night, and he sits down and he's wounded, and he starts talking into this recorder, and he basically tells the story of the whole film. This is where kind of like the film noir kind of the moody voiceover, you know, and I love the style of film noir. I think it's fantastic, and every frame of this film I just adored. You know, the lighting, the cinematography, it all looked great. You know, just real classic feeling. Every frame, seriously, just I loved. And the man tells a story about how he went to renew a man's vehicle insurance, and he wasn't there at this big house up in the Hollywood Hills, but his wife was there, and he falls in love with this man's wife, and she falls in love with him, and there's a great connection between the two, and there's a lot of very snappy dialogue between them, and something starts going on there, and then slowly but surely this whole plot unravels around her, basically, and she lures him in, and you know, you're not quite sure what her motives are, and if her motives are, you know, innocent, and well, not innocent, but you know, if they're truthful, if she's being truthful to this man, the main character. And I just love the way it's set up. I love the way the story unfolds. I love the fact that it's told in flashback for like most of the movie, and I really love the character of the man's boss in the insurance place, who's you know, again, a real snappy talker, just really funny, just great dialogue. I mean, you just spitting this stuff out, and it's hilarious and really well done. And you know, he's pretty much like a hard ass kind of character. But the main character, he kind of knows that his boss likes him deep down, and there's a great relationship they have together, and it really plays out so well over the film. And yeah, I don't want to go too much into it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it's a great kind of story. There's a great plot, you know, great crime element to it. I just loved everything about it. Absolutely awesome. Definitely a 10 out of 10. Definitely my favourite film noir, the best film noir I've seen so far, but I haven't seen many, so it's not saying too much, but amazing film. It just looked great on Blu-ray as well. Awesome. That was just a real treat. And now I'm going to finish with one more film that I kind of feel like my whole reason for doing this Unseen Classics video was kind of lost along the way, and I kind of went with easier options, shorter films, but I guess it's kind of cool that I've come out of this, or will come out of this, with 6 films that hopefully, with this next one, which will be the 6th film I think, hopefully I'll come out of this with 6 films that are awesome and that I've now seen, as opposed to just 2 or 3, because my original vision for this was to do like the big heavy hitters, as I've said before, Ben-Hur, you know, and Lawrence of Arabia and stuff like that, Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, but you know, those big classics I think I'm going to save for like one-off occasions and really just savor them, and you know, I think that's probably the best thing to do. And I've enjoyed doing this so much, and I don't know if any of you are enjoying this or have enjoyed it so far, but I enjoy the fact that I'm going off a few suggestions that people have given me on my Facebook page. So if you guys like that interactive part of this video, then I really would like to continue it on my Raised by Reviews channel, and maybe do one every couple of weeks or something, and just kind of make a movie night and just watch one classic film that someone has suggested to me, give them a shout out in the video. Just makes it a bit more fun, I think, a bit more interactive. But you let me know what you think anyway. The final film I'm going to go with is a film that I've tried to watch many times in the past. I think I tried to watch it in my second 24-hour movie marathon. I just couldn't do it. The first time I was going to watch it was when I bought it on DVD, probably about 5-6 years ago. I was getting more into serious film. This is before I did YouTube, and you know, great actors in it that I loved, and I thought, oh, that's a classic, I've got to do it. So I picked it up on DVD. But at that time I'd watch films really late at night on my mum. I lived with my mum at the time, and her bedroom was next to mine, so I couldn't have the TV on too loud, and I always used to have subtitles on, so I wouldn't have to have it on too loud so I can understand what was going on. But still, you know, I could still hear it, but you know, I didn't have to have it all the way up so I could hear every line of dialogue. And the Deer Hunter DVD did not have subtitles, and that really pissed me off. A couple of years later, yeah, I just couldn't get through it. At the beginning, it's quite slow, and I just couldn't, without turning it up, so I thought I'll watch it tomorrow, and then I just didn't, because I don't like watching films in the day, or I didn't at the time, and so I just didn't end up watching the DVD. Got the Blu-ray when I started collecting Blu-rays. Great edition, the Studio Canal digibook version. It's not quite a digibook, but it's a nice packaging either way, and I love the front cover. And that didn't have subtitles either, but that was fine. I was going to try and watch it anyway, and I never found the time because it's a 3-hour film. And then the 24-hour movie marathon 2 that I did last year in 2013, I tried to watch it, and I wasn't feeling it. But I know I'm going to love it. I just need to give it the time, so I'm going to give it the time right now. We're going to do this, and I haven't even told you what it is yet because I haven't got the Blu-ray at hand, but I'm going to grab it now and tell you what we're going to finish this whole thing off with. Okay, I've got the Blu-ray at hand, and here it is. The Deer Hunter. Yeah, cannot wait to see this. I've probably only seen the first 20-30 minutes of the film both times I've tried watching it, but you know, I've heard nothing but great things about it, honestly, and so I just think that I don't know, I'm just sure I'm going to love it. It's just one of those films that just seems like it has all the right elements for me to enjoy it, and I just need to give it the time. Rob De Niro, Christopher Walken, two of my favourite actors are in this, and yeah, I just need to just stop talking, stop blathering on, stop pussyfooting around it and fiddle flipping, and just stick it in the PS3 and watch it right now. Okay, so I just got done watching The Deer Hunter. Wow. Oh man, that was a film and a half. Jesus. I mean, and as I said, I tried to watch it a few times before, and it's during this whole lengthy opening sequence. I mean, it's like over an hour long, even more. You know, the story, it stars, you know, John Savage, Rob De Niro, Christopher Walken, and a few other actors. A group of guys who are friends in this small kind of steel mill industrial town in like the mountains in America, and the three, you know, De Niro, Christopher Walken, and John Savage, the actors, they play the three who are going off to Vietnam, and John Savage's character is getting married, and the first third of the film is them finishing work, going out for a drink, the wedding, and then, you know, the wedding party, and then they go out deer hunting, and then they come back, and then it cuts to Vietnam, and that's the second act of the film. And then the third act of the film is a 3-hour film, so it's, you know, it's not quite hour by hour, but, you know, roughly the last act of the film is all about the repercussions from what happened in Vietnam and where the characters are at this point. I mean, the first half an hour, you know, I was like, this wedding is really going on, and it's very much like you're a part of it. You're observing every little detail, and you know, the dialogue at times is quite incidental, and at times it's just like, you know, is there anything of use going to be said? You know, there's like lots of scenes where it's just the party, and there's little moments in there, these little subtle moments, but a lot of it I was like, you know, when are we going to get to more of the point? And I kind of realised after I've watched the film that it really does give you just such a complete view of the before, the during, and the after. And it just makes everything, the contrast, so much stronger, and it gives it such a bigger emotional punch at the end when it's all said and done. De Niro was amazing in this film. I mean, I've always thought he was a great actor. I mean, I don't think anyone would dispute that, but he was amazing in this film. Fantastic. The restraint he shows at times is just so well done. Christopher Walken, again, a bit of a transformation, and God, the scenes in the Vietnam scenes, I mean, this is one scene in particular that I don't think I've ever seen anything that intense that looks that real. I mean, they're slapping each other for real, and they're getting slapped for real, and I just bought every single second of that sequence, and it was just it was something to behold. It really, really was unbelievable. Let's tilt the camera down a second. But I think John Savage, who I looked him up on IMDb, and I haven't seen him in anything else. He looked vaguely familiar. He almost looked like a young John Voight, but no, I haven't seen him in anything else. And he was really, really just something else, especially in the second and third act of the film. He was awesome. Very, very great acting. Meryl Streep plays a pivotal role in this film as the girlfriend of one of the guys, and just a great cast of characters and the circumstances that surround it, and the symbol, you know, the whole Russian roulette thing. People who've seen the film, it's such a symbol for war, I think, in a way. And I know that the film's going to come under criticism for not being realistic in terms of that being actually Russian roulette being a big part of Vietnam, the Vietnam War. But either way, it's such a powerful cinematic device, and it was used very powerfully, to say the least. And if you've seen the film again, you know what I'm talking about. Incredible. Definitely one of the best films I've probably ever seen. I'd probably put it in maybe like the top 30 best films of all time for me. I just, it was an experience, and that's what film should be, an experience that hits you at a gut level and takes you somewhere, and you know, all that good stuff. Not to say that towards the end that there was good stuff in this film. I mean, it's a roller coaster of emotions. It really is. But yeah, amazing film. I'm kind of annoyed though, because remember I talked about the fact that, oh yeah, I couldn't quite hear the dialogue when I tried to watch it like 5-6 years ago on DVD, and then even then when I watched the Blu-ray I found it quite hard to listen to. I've just read a Blu-ray review of it and can't believe it. I was listening to the 5.0 the 5.1 audio track, but apparently that's not a very good audio track, and the 2.0 track is the one to listen to because the pitches are too high or something on the 5.1 track. So I'm just going to show you this now, and you can hopefully hear the difference, and it's not quite just the difference of the volume being louder. There really is something, and particularly in Christopher Walken's dialogue. Anyway, I'll try and see if this will work. So I can just show you. We've got a scene here from near the beginning. I'll turn the volume up, you know, so you can hear. We're on 40, and we'll play this. And this is the 5.1 track.
You trying to look like a prince? What do you mean trying? You should have done that a long time ago. That way it would have set. I know.
Right, and let's try it with the 2.0.
You trying to look like a prince? What do you mean trying? You should have done that a long time ago. That way it would have set. Why'd you do it? Because I forgot.
So it's just, I don't know, to me it just comes across as so much more of a dynamic audio track that I really wish I had gone more orange. I really wish I'd used that track from the beginning, because then I could hear the dialogue better. There was times where I wasn't quite hearing little bits and pieces, but yeah, I'll just turn the camera on and off so I can get oh no, the colour's coming back now. There you go, it's settled down. Okay, so yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 for me, masterpiece. I can't wait to see Michael Cimino's other epic film, Heaven's Gate, which I also have on Blu-ray. So yeah, if it's more of the same, then I just can't wait to see that. But this is a real special film, absolutely fantastic. It was worth the wait, it was worth sticking in for the long haul, and again, just an experience. Definitely watch it if you haven't already. And I want to give a shout out to James DVD Collector 1974 for suggesting this to me on Facebook. Again, I was asking for suggestions, and I was definitely going to watch this film at some point anyway. I mean, I've been wanting to watch it for 5 or 6 years, but it's cool to take the suggestions and say, right, I'm going to watch it now because they've said it. And so there you go, thanks for that, James. He also suggested, by the way, Raging Bull and Taxi Driver, which I've both seen. Both great films, but I definitely prefer this, to be honest. I'm not going to get into my thoughts on Taxi Driver and Raging Bull, but The Deer Hunter, amazing. So that's been my Unseen Classics marathon. I'm going to leave it at that. And again, on my own channel, I might do some kind of one-off thing. Here's the thing, because I'm filming these little clips that I'll edit together over like 3 or 4 days. I forget what I've actually already said. You're probably thinking, yeah, you've already said that 3 times already. So anyway, that's it. Nothing more to say, but it's been awesome to discover what Ugetsu Monogatari, Annie Hall, Double Indemnity, of course. What else did I watch? The Deer Hunter, City Girl, yeah, City Girl and The Holy Grail, which weren't quite there, but 4 10 out of 10 films. Deer Hunter, Ugetsu Monogatari, Annie Hall and Double Indemnity. Fantastic. And we've done, what, 3 films from the 70s, 50s, 30s, 40s, so yeah, it's pretty good going. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned for Ryan's marathon on Friday, and we have a guest marathoner on Saturday as well, so you can look forward to that. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.